This right here is going to be my travel vlog of basically what it's like to have a mental breakdown, which leads to giving up your career to go backpacking through 14 countries in Asia, and believing that if I do this trip and I give up everything, that when I get back home, I will have everything. And that's what my story was like. I threw this giant Christmas party in Orange County, California. I gave away $40,000 away worth of gifts because that's what I do. You know, I love to give back to my community. And so I gave back, and it was amazing. We had people dancing on the rooftops. We had YouTube hip hop artists, worship leaders, famous speakers, and we're just spreading hope to people that struggle with addiction, with trauma, mental health, to give people hope. But then all of a sudden, after this amazing thing, I go on this Caribbean trip with my girl, and you think I'd be stoked and fulfilled, but yeah, I felt depressed. I felt suicidal, and I felt lonely, which is crazy because you got to see, I was suicidal before I got sober because I was, hurt with a lot of trauma as a kid. I had a bunch of anxiety, heartbreak, I was a drug addict and an alcoholic, so I was full of so much, pain and misery. So at this point, I had 5 years or 6 years sober. I thought that was gone. But no, all of a sudden now, I feel lost, and so I was confused, and so I got to a place where I wanted to end my life.
So I tried shooting myself, I tried drowning myself, and I tried jumping off a balcony. I had a mental breakdown. I was crying, talking to my sponsees when they calling for some help, because inside I felt like it was my last conversation with them.
I didn't know what was going on, and I'm sorry that, the love of my life had to see me like that, super depressed and just out of it. And all of a sudden I just said, she's like, what do you need from me? And I was like, I just want to leave the country. I just want to move to Bali and get away and give up everything. But I can't. Why? Because I take care of my mom. I don't make a lot of money. I have a bunch of debt and I have a bunch of bills. I don't make money residually. I only make money for being a therapist, showing up to group facilitating. So she goes, what about this? I will pay for the whole entire 6 months of backpacking and traveling through Asia and Bali. You got to commit to backpacking and be to different countries, not just Bali, and I'll pay for everything. She's like, but you just got to figure out how do you help your mom with her bills. Shout out to her, that's a good woman. And of course, I was like, okay, cool, sounds great, I'm blessed, but how am I gonna pay my mom's bills? And how am I have car payments, phone payments, I have credit cards. So this is what I did, guys. I prayed. I said, all right, if this is meant to be, it's meant to be. So the first thing I did was I canceled my subscriptions. I was able to defer my car payments a few months. I was able to have my father, right, because now we're building back a relationship after years of not having one. He offered to help pay my phone bill. I put my school payments on deferred because I was gonna be gone for mental health reasons. My job, I got lucky. One of my jobs was like, hey, I heard you wanna leave. Would you wanna do online therapy? Yes, it's a couple $100 a month. My other job, I said, hey, if I put someone in my group therapy position, can they do work for me? They said yes. So I got 20%, my buddy got 80%. And then right before I left, another company was like, hey, we're opening up a new facility, and they offered me this big government contract, which is huge. And I said, yes, I will do it, but I'm actually gonna leave. Are you okay if I put someone there for now? And they said yes. So because of that, I was able to have just enough money to pay my mom's bills, but nothing for me. It was meant to be. So wild, right? So I had 2 months now to get ready to leave, which was crazy because I'm still in this place of feeling lost and depressed and unhappy and afraid. And also like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna leave the country and go to Asia for 6 months. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how to speak the language. What's some bad gonna happen to me? I don't know. Am I gonna be able to even last all that? So I still spoke at this place called Lifeline.
I went from codependent to healthy love. I went to being a manipulator to an inspirer. I went to using people to utilizing people. I went from being a drug dealer to a business owner. God will use all your defects and he will bless you. So speak up. Be who you are, embrace it, because God has a purpose for your life, because there's purpose to your pain. And so I love all you guys, know that anything is possible.
I still was doing podcasts, I was still doing a lot of things in that time. I went to this event in LA, and it was very hard for me to try to exist and be so positive and happy and trying to help people with their traumas and addictions and mental health, because honestly at this point, I was lost and I was afraid. So then, the 2 months go by, and all of a sudden, here we go. Packed up my bags, trying to figure out what I need, right? Packing my inhalers, my clothes, whatever. Me and my girl pack up. First stop, Bali, Ubud. 24 plus hour flight it's gonna be. And so we hop on this plane and we get ready to go on this journey. And I just remember getting there and just being like amazed by how stimulated I was. I have ADHD, so basically just being in this new place, it's healing, it's all this love and kindness and health and wellness, and I was just amazed by it. And so for me, I know, because I'm not working really and I have so much downtime, and I'm a person that needs to feel good enough by acts of service, I discovered, right? Because that's the recovering codependency in me, that's the ADHD in me. And so usually I'm helping people, being there for people, supporting people. But guess what? People are not speaking English. Nobody knows me as the hope dealer. Nobody knows who Fausto is. And so for me, I knew I'm gonna need to have a routine to keep my sanity. So I had basically like fish oils and vitamins and protein and creatine to create this morning routine of health. Found a gymnasium, Ubud in Bali, which totally saved my life because it was a place I can go to work out. See, fitness is always going to help my mental health, helps my anxiety. So I started creating this routine when I was in Bali, which was going to be have my morning ritual, do a devotional, go to the gym, and basically each day was like, all right, what do I want to do? Go get some healthy food, go on dates with my girl. I think we saw like the waterfall. We did some of the downtown areas and stuff like that. And every day I would just be like, all right, and I'm going to say God, you call it higher power, whatever, higher self. And I was like, okay, so what is going on? Why do I feel depressed? What's going on? And so I would ask questions. And the questions that I asked, I would get little answers through books that I was reading. And it was like, Fausto, you're still insecure and you're doing good acts to feel good enough and to earn my love. So even though in the past I was trying to earn my love through, I can drink a lot, drugs, people pleasing, toxic relationships, whatever it was, right? It was still innocence and more toxic environments. What I learned was, even though I was sober, even though I was going to church, even though I was going to AA and doing all that stuff, I discovered that I'm still insecure, chasing validation through these things. And that's why I never felt enough, because guess what? It doesn't matter. I can help a million people or one person. It's not going to change anything within myself to feel good enough. It's because I'm already believing I'm not good enough is why I'm doing all these things. So that epiphany of like, wow, I need to find a way to love myself and be at peace with myself without helping anybody or doing anything. And so when I discovered that, I started to examine that. And I'll tell you what, in that first month of being in Bali, I didn't go to AA, I didn't go to church, I didn't talk to no one home, I didn't even have conversations with people. Because yes, people may speak English if they're from like Europe or Australia, different places, but there still is that language barrier, and there still is a difference where the depth isn't fully there. And it was wild because as I'm there, in that first month, it hit me. And all of a sudden, I found peace and serenity without doing anything that I've been doing for 6 years since I got sober to feel good enough. And I felt great. I felt alive and I felt happy. So I found something, I'm not sure what it is, but I found something, so I'm gonna focus on this. I'm gonna continue to journal, I'm gonna continue to write. But what I discovered this first month was I actually don't want to document this now and post about it, because if I start posting about my thing, I'm doing the same thing I've done for this past 6 years. I gotta make everything like about this purpose-driven thing to help people, and the reality is this is not about others, this is about me. And that's what started happening in that first month of Bali. And now I'm gonna change the scenery, because we're gonna go to what month 2 was like. And in month 2, what did I do? This is where, okay, we did 30 days in Bali. I found peace working out, eating healthy. I feel alive. I'm like, yay. And then my girl says, well, remember our agreement. We'll do Bali, but we also got a backpack. And we're about to do Myanmar, Thailand, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Japan within like 6 weeks. And I'm like, oh boy, ain't gonna lie, I tried to get out of it. I was like, what happens if maybe we should stay here a little longer? Because I found peace and I got scared I was gonna lose that peace, but also more languages to learn, more places to go to. The fear comes in, oh my God, what's gonna happen? But you know what? I'm a good partner. I knew she was doing this for me, so I said, you know what? Whatever, I'm gonna walk through my fear. You got my back, let me come support you. And so guess what, guys? First stop, Myanmar. All right, so now I'm in Myanmar. Once I get to Myanmar, this is where the backpacking trip starts. So I just did a month in Bali, and now I'm in Myanmar. And Myanmar is a third world country, and this is where the fear kicks in. Again, I'm in fear of backpacking in different countries because, again, I never done it. So it's wild. So we get there. First thing is there's no phone service that works there. 2, when we get there, I don't see any tourists. And they start asking for our passport when we're trying to get in a taxi to get to our hotel. And I don't know. So I'm about to hand this person my passport, and my girl's like, dude, you don't do that. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, don't do it. And then there's a language barrier. So now I don't know what's happening. There's like some conversation going back and forth. We end up giving our passports to this person, and we're good. We do a 45-minute drive to our hotel. But because of that scenario and not having any phone service, I'm like overthinking everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a movie Taken. They're going to take us. And then all of a sudden we get closer to where we're supposed to go, I believe. And then I see a bunch of people with guns. And then they open up our car, look at our trunk. I think they're going to take our stuff. And then they're looking for bombs under the car. And then we finally get to our hotel. And I'm like, what is happening, right? Because I'm overthinking everything. Well, apparently there was a war going on, and they just wanted to make sure we're not the bad people. So we were safe the whole time. But again, didn't know that because I couldn't understand the language. So it was pretty unique to walk through that. I prayed as hard as I ever have. That's one thing on this trip. I was praying so much. And after we did Myanmar for about a week, we went to Thailand for about, I think, 4 or 5 days. Now, I went to Bangkok this time. I don't know about you guys, but I love Thailand. Something about just like the energy. It's kind of like everybody, you can have fun and it's okay here type of thing. And so I love Thai food. It's my favorite. So I had some Thai food out there, worked out at the gyms. And then after Thailand, we did Hong Kong. So for me, the only place I've seen Hong Kong, it really is in the movie Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. And when I get to Hong Kong, they have Uber there. So I was just like, oh, okay, they got an Uber here. A little bit more first world there. People speak English. You can find people that they speak English. It reminded me, though, even though I've never been to New York yet, or maybe I have when this video's come out, but Hong Kong kind of reminds me of like a New York style, but everybody's quiet. Not loud, not honking, just tons of people, city vibes, but quiet. It's pretty interesting. So I loved Hong Kong. It was super cool. Worked out like I always do. And then after Hong Kong, we did South Korea. So I love Korean barbecue, so I was stoked to have some Korean food when I was there. So basically, we get to South Korea, find a gym like I have to do. And it's funny because they have a cat gym. I'm obsessed with cats. I got all my cats tattooed on my back. We go to this cool library that's like huge library. It's like insane. And we stood in Seoul. And then from South Korea, Japan. Now, I love Japanese anime, so I was like stoked to be in Japan. And we did Osaka, Kyoto, and Tokyo. And it was rad. I mean, food's delicious. If you ever go to Japan, eat at McDonald's. I'm kidding you. McDonald's is like luxury food compared to the McDonald's in the States. And so we're in Japan, and to me, I loved it. It was very safe. We're taking like the bullet trains, the metros. It's interesting because nothing was in English, so I had to use a translator app. You could get like a Google Translator, but basically you turn the camera on, and it will like communicate what the words say because nothing's in English. And that was fun. We went to the Harry Potter thing, like I think it was in Tokyo or Osaka, I can't remember. But that shit was crazy. It was like an 8-hour tour. They had all the stuff from like Harry Potter. Like it was just nuts. So that was super cool. And then after Japan was, man, I'm drawing blank right now. When did I go to Japan? Go back to Bali. So what's interesting was on that backpacking thing, I got to go to like 5 different countries in like 5 weeks. And, you know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about like, I overthink a lot. I'm driven by fear a lot. I worry a lot. And I was complaining a lot out of fear, out of discomfort, out of being anxious. But really it was because I felt like I had no value or importance. I didn't feel needed by anybody. But see, that's what I needed to learn, right? I needed to learn to be okay with myself and know that I don't have to prove anything to feel needed. So going through that was like peeling back all these insecurities and all this anxiety and all these fears for me to look at myself to be like, why does it matter? So it's very healing for me to walk through that. And so then we get back to Bali and I breathe again. So we're back in Ubud, different Airbnb this time. And this time it was just kind of like, okay, reground myself. Gymnasium Ubud. Oh, and keep in mind, I for some reason agreed to train for a 50-mile run at this point. Why? I don't know, impulsivity. My buddy Taylor was going to run one in September, and I agreed to be his pacer. So I started training for a 50-mile run in March when I went backpacking, probably like 3 weeks into it. I said yes. And so I'm running on a treadmill, sometimes up to 20 miles on a treadmill, because some places were harder to run than others. So I'm back in Bali, And this time, you know, again, doing little stuff here and there, eating, working out. But now it's kind of just like, okay, like trying to treat it like my home. So there's days where I just stay in, watch some, you know, Netflix, eat some food at home, stay home all day, relax. Because it was challenging to sleeping in different beds all the time, going in airplanes, taking taxi after taxi, people asking you, where are you from? Do you need a driver every day? And you know, trying to think of what to do. It's very taxing. It's very tiring. I started to learn that having work is actually kind of fun because it takes away so many hours of trying to figure out what to do. The next backpacking excursion is Nepal. Now I was stoked to go to Nepal. I'm not gonna lie. Why? Because meditation, you know, stuff like that to me fascinates me. And what's wild is that when we get to Nepal, it's like 100 plus degrees. It's like 100% humidity. Felt like. But when we land there, our Airbnb does not have an AC. Imagine I was dripping sweat, going to an Airbnb, looking forward to that AC, and all of a sudden there's no AC. Oh my gosh. Torture. They said they wouldn't have the unit above us available for 3 days. So for 3 days, it's 100 degrees. We're sweating in our food, sweating at restaurants, sweating at the gym, sweating in the taxis. It was like torture. I never felt so insane in my life. Again, I'm complaining again. I'm like, oh my gosh, here I go again complaining. And I'm going through this discomfort to a point where I think one day we like slept in the shower with the water on because it was so hot. But then we ended up getting a hotel. It's funny because the power is going out like every hour. So even though we had an AC, that was happening. So that was a unique experience. Food is great though. Again, it was just my experience where I was. So then after Nepal, we go to India for a layover. Stood at this crazy hotel, which was super nice. Traffic was insane though. And then after India, the Maldives. So maybe some of you guys have seen those like Maldives hotels on the water and stuff like that. Well, for me, it was like, what was it? We discovered that there's so many islands to go to. So we found one called Mafushi. Mafushi is kind of like the more popular one. So we go to Mafushi, we stay there, and it's cool because when you land in the airport, you land like in the middle of the ocean. So you got to take a speedboat to the island. So that was super cool. And then remember, keep in mind, at this point, I'm like, there better be a damn AC in that hotel. So we get there, and luckily, boom, nice hotel on the island. AC, and the coolest part about this, which I discovered when I was there, it's Cat Island. There's like thousands of cats on this island. I mean, thousands of cats. That was like the best part of the island. So I was running 10-mile runs around the island, hanging out with cats. Apparently the gym that I thought was there shut down during COVID, so there was no gym, but they had an outside gym. But then I learned I have to work out at nighttime because when I worked out during the day, Maldives is on the equator, which is where the sun's the hottest. And so I almost had a heat stroke running and working out during the day. So I had to shift it to nighttime. And then we did Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka, I had no idea what that was. And we get there, and it was funny, right? Because we get there, and guess what? Airbnb did not have a AC. I lost my mind. Me and my girl got into it. I was like, I can't do this again. This is torture. Luckily, I found a new spot. Amazing people, AC with the pool, private driver. It was incredible. And I was able to find a fitness hotel place nearby, and it was the coolest thing ever. They cooked for us there. There was cats there. Yes. They had the cold plunge massage, infinity pool overlooking the jungle, and amazing people. And so I basically did that every day and explored. So as you can see, I'm constantly needing a gym, and I'm constantly needing to be healthy because I'm just trying to keep my mind right. Because you got to remember, this is like 3 months in, and I still have the fear every day of what happens when I go back. I'm still unhappy. What happens if I go back and I didn't figure it out? What happens if this is a mistake? Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know at this point what's going to happen. And so after Sri Lanka, we did, what did we do? I'm trying to think, guys, So this is like the ADHD. Malaysia. So we stay in Malaysia for a couple days. Malaysia's super dope, amazing, real first world. It's a little nice reset, a nice hotel. And then after that, back to Bali. So now at this point, it's my last month in Bali, right, for the 6-month backpacking trip. So at this point, I've learned that my insecurities have been running my life. Even though I got in recovery and I was doing a bunch of good, I was still trying to help others, serve others, speak, heal, whatever it was, still trying to prove my worth, right? Because I don't know how to love myself because I was never shown how to love myself. Because I grew up with a home where 2 people did not love themselves. So guess what? It's going to get passed down to me, right? You call that generational curse, generational trauma, whatever you want to call it. So now at this point, I'm in my last month. At this point, I'm tired of taking taxis. I'm tired of trying to figure out what to do. I'm ready to go home at this point. But now here's where the fear kicks in, because now that I'm going to be back home, you know what that means. If I go back home, I'm about to find out did I really learn anything? Was there really any, aha moments? Am I going to come back? Am I going to be completely healed and changed? My life's going to get better? Or am I going to come back to the same issues? So that was the fear at that point. Am I going to come back and this whole 6 months is for nothing? So as I'm going through this month, head down, I'm focused. We get ready, we get packed up, and we get ready to jump on this 24-hour flight. And so I'm going back. And now keep in mind, at this point, I have a 50-mile run with my buddy that I'm going to pace him at in about 2 weeks. So I'm ready, I'm pumped. And we get home, and it was pretty wild because the first thing we realized is how expensive food is in California compared to Asia. The second thing that happened too was I got really sick, actually. So I went to go do a practice run with my buddy on the 50-mile race, and all of a sudden my lungs, my heart, and my body started hurting. So I started kind of freaking out. I don't know if it was because my body was adjusting to being back in, the States, no idea. But you know me, I got to keep my head down. I'm not going to complain because I got to run this race. I'm not going to bail on my friend because I'm not that person. We ended up finding out that the place burnt down 2 days before the race, so they canceled the race. So after that month goes by, I'm kind of like not telling anybody I'm back yet. I'm trying to get settled back in because remember, I'm not working. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. So at this point, I'm starting to reflect. So my first meeting I had with somebody was with Gremlin, who's a famous YouTube artist and hip hop artist and all that stuff. And so he hit me up randomly saying, hey, let's catch up. I want to see about your trip. So at this point on the trip, what ends up happening is we're talking, I'm sharing some stuff. He asked me, hey, do you want to make some funny videos with me? I'll pay you. So right there was the first aha moment that this trip was supposed to happen. Because remember, I'm not working right now, so this is my first income that comes back in as I get back, and it's something completely different than what I was doing, because I didn't want to go back to what I was doing. So boom, here's some money comes in randomly, not my plan. All right, God has my back. Now what ends up happening is I think about what people I would want to work with. And so I wrote down the people that actually celebrated me and not tolerated me. And so I ended up doing groups at this one place with my buddy because he's good to me. Okay, and that's my boundary. I'm not going to work where I'm tolerated anymore. The next thing that happens at this point is my buddy. He goes, hey, one of my actors bailed out on me. Would you want to act in one of my music videos and play a gangster? And I'll pay you. Not planned, more money coming in my pocket. Well, the director of that music video that we shot was so impressed by my acting that he's like, we got to use Fausto again for the next one. Now, at this point, my buddy that I was his counselor hits me up and says, hey, would you speak at my fitness event? I want you to speak there. I said, of course, I'll be of service. I'll do it. It's for you. It's fitness. It's different than what I used to do. I'm down. Well, somebody in the audience that heard my speech was on Soft White Underbelly, which is the #1 YouTube channel in the world for storytelling that I've been trying to get on for 4 years. Well, this person hits me up and says, hey, can you connect me to your people? I love your speech. I said, I'm down. You can connect me with Soft White Underbelly. Well, guess what? Within a couple minutes, Mark from Soft White Underbelly gets in a group chat with me and he says, hey, Fausto, give me a call. I'm nervous. I call. He says, you know what? Get on the podcast. Wow. Again, not planned. I do Soft White Underbelly, and now I'm waiting for it to come out. It's going to be big. It's going to be millions of people worldwide are going to see it. Then, at this point, my buddy, the director that loved me so much in the acting, said, hey, Fausto, can we fly you out to Rhode Island, and we want you to play a drug addict that gets out of rehab. We'll fly you out, put you up in a hotel, and we'll pay you and all that stuff. Again, not planned. It's a total God thing, so that ends up happening. So I'm in Rhode Island. I'm doing this music video. One, it's like, I don't know, negative degrees, snowing, and I have to basically die in the music video. So I'm out there acting. Crazy thing is, too, side note, right, side quest, ADHD. The actress in the music video looked like one of my exes that I owed amends to, so it was really weird that I had to play like I was doing drugs. This woman played my mom, so it was very realistic. It was actually very emotional, but then the person playing my mom looked like my ex, so it was like two parts of me were healing, because I've always wanted to make amends to this ex, but I have not run into her in the past 9 years. So not only am I acting with someone that looks like my ex, I have to play like I'm doing drugs and being toxic, which I used to be like to my mom. So it was very emotional, but I got to heal a part of me that I didn't know needed to be healed. So it was a very healing thing. It was very emotional. Almost froze to death outside. I actually got like deadly sick from this trip. We get back from the trip. Soft white underbelly drops.
Where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Orange County, California.
Tell me about your childhood.
Yeah, so I grew up with a narcissistic father, never feeling good enough, always feeling like something was wrong with me. And so that led me down a path of seeking validation. And that seeking validation was usually from male figures. And so that led to my first traumatic incident at 7 when I was sexually abused by an older boy.
Boom. Millions and millions and millions of people see this video. It's crazy. I've never had so many positive comments for my story. People are hitting me up all over. It goes viral. Now at this point, I get asked to speak at Lifelines, which is with Pastor Randy up in Newport Beach. It's the biggest recovery meeting in history. And I go to speak at it. I have my buddy Gremlin going to open up for me. And guess what? We set an attendance record, the biggest crowd in 15 years we had. Mind blowing. Again, total God thing, not planned. Now at this point, after the soft white underbelly drops, we're going into the new year. And now my other buddy goes, hey, Fausto, I really want you to work with me. I will pay you basically just to hang out with us. Blown away. Who's going to pay someone just to hang out? Boom. I started working with Journey to Solutions with my buddy. Within about a month or two, he goes, hey, remember that podcast you wanted to start? I said, yeah. He goes, let's run it. So my buddy believed in me, paid me what I wanted, invested into my idea, and we get ready to launch this podcast, which I had my partner help me design the whole entire thing, which she's amazing at. It came out incredible. And it began another way of more income coming in. And then, because of my soft white underbelly went so viral, the Washington Health Department in DC saw my video, hit me up on Instagram and said, hey, can you be Recovery Speaker of the Year? We're going to fly you to DC, come out to Maryland, and speak for Recovery Month to be the Recovery Speaker of the Year. Now, this is wild because Brandon Novak from Jackass was the speaker last time, and now they're picking me. This guy, recovering drug addict, ADHD, insecure, full of anxiety, low self-esteem, insecure, that's crazy. High school dropout. I don't know. I have terrible grammar. I don't even know what I'm doing still. But all of a sudden, things are happening. So now I have this big opportunity that says people see worth in me so I can see more value in myself. So now this big opportunity comes. I'm doing the Journey to Solution stuff. I'm doing all the acting. All this stuff's amazing. Life is good. And then guess what happens? Peptides. So my buddy says, hey, have you heard of peptides before? I said, I don't know what that is. Tried some peptides, trizipatide, and I was blown away by how amazing this thing was. So my buddy goes, why don't we start a peptide company? I go, how do you do that? He goes, well, I've been in the medical industry for a long time with pharmaceuticals. Let's do it. So then we start a peptide company. Not only am I getting paid to act, to host, my YouTube channel is doing amazing, the peptides are doing amazing. I'm getting paid to speak at places, getting interviewed, doing all this cool stuff. So now I get to hire my friends. I get to hire my family. I get to take care of my loved ones. And now I'm traveling. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Oregon. I'm going to Miami. I go another East Coast tour where I'm speaking at colleges, at churches, at prisons, at rehabs, at sober livings, homeless events, communities, and just giving back and loving on people. Put together another event to give back and show some love. We did a recovery summit, and I got on Soft White Underbelly again, which was funny because I got a bunch of different reactions on that one, but that's a whole nother story. And life got really good. I got my own place, 3-bedroom place, bought myself 2 cars, got myself my first Rolex. Life is beautiful, life is good. All because I took that risk to leave the States, had no idea, went backpacking through 14 countries in Asia, and all of a sudden I just didn't give up, knew my value, had my boundaries, showed up, and just gave and gave and gave, and had discernment, and chose wisely, and moved slowly, and took care of myself, and put myself first, and said no. And all this good stuff started happening, in a loving relationship, have a loving life. I get to hire all my friends, take care of all my friends. I'm back here in Bali again where it all started. And life is good. I have no idea what I said. I might have to reshoot this again. But then we're going to be going to the Kempinski Hotel, which I'm going to show you. It's going to kind of be the full circle thing of this bougie-ass hotel. All right, guys. So to end this vlog, ooh, it's getting a little foggy out here, huh? Let me see. So to finish this video, check this out. Shit's tight. Hopefully I don't fall in the water. But if I do, it will be on video. Look at this view. Alright guys, as I close my vlog, This is my hotel. I got literally a pool. Let me just look at that, the beauty of all this. Let's see if I can capture it. That's my private pool I have in my hotel room. That is my view. That is outside here in Bali. And guys, the reason why I'm showing you this right now is because I just want you guys to know that, like, if you have this thing inside of you and you feel you're meant for more, maybe you've always felt different, maybe your ideas are not, common, and maybe you're not where you want to be yet, I'm telling you this right now. Your imagination is a preview of your future. If you see it here in your mind and you can feel it in your heart, you can do it. Now remember this, you're gonna have to cut out the people in your life that are telling you can't do it. A lot of people are gonna give you advice to protect you, maybe because they had failed dreams, or they think they're helping you, or people are insecure, and when they see you doing well, guess what? They're gonna try to bring you down and make themselves feel good. That's just what it is. So you gotta protect your energy, you gotta protect your space. Surround yourself with people who want more for you, who believe in you. Because guess what? You're gonna need a team to get there. Also, another big thing, you gotta understand this. You gotta learn to forgive everything and let go of things. So when we hold on to anger, resentment, whatever it is, it's gonna keep you down here and not let you elevate up here. So you gotta let that stuff go, forgive it. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean you gotta hang out with them. Doesn't mean they get away with it. It's just for you to clear up that free rent in your mind. The next thing I want you to do too is I want you to take care of your mental health. Go to therapy, get a mentor, take care of whatever's going on in here. If you need medication, take medication. If you need meditation, start meditation. Whatever it is, get your mind right. Get your emotions right, Educate yourself on the things that you want to become. What does a person need to know to get there? Read the books, hang out with the people, watch the videos. It's all out there and it's all free. And just never give up no matter what. Because see, a lot of the times, the path to get to where you want to go is never going to look the way you think it's going to look. It's always going to be different. And see, sometimes a lot of people will give up because on the pathway there, it doesn't look like it's going to happen because they pictured it this way and now it's going this way. People give up when the blessing's around the corner. So just remember that. And I truly believe in something greater than yourself, because our belief sometimes is too low. And sometimes you need that delusional faith to believe that you can do these amazing things. Because see, a lot of us are exceptional people. And what I mean by that is we're gonna do big things, greater things, life-changing things. The bigger the purpose, the bigger the battle. And remember, where there is good, there's also evil. What do I mean by that? You gotta be ready for the challenges that are gonna arise. Things are gonna come up and you're gonna be able to have to walk through them. You're gonna have to fill them. You're gonna have to have a lot of boundaries. That's the biggest thing. Remember, your time you don't get back. Whoever you fall in love with, choose wisely, because the person you fall in love with will have the most influence on your life. So be wise with the decisions. Don't use the concept of God to make things right. Don't do that. People use it as a cop-out. Be careful to get too spiritual. Also, be careful not to avoid things that use too much logic. Be in reality as well in spirituality, whatever that means to you. And so I want to send you guys some good energy and some love, and to know that anything is possible. If this ex-drug addict, social anxiety, shy, insecure kid that grew up in poverty, who's been heartbroken, been betrayed, I'm still awkward, I got ADHD still, I battle with codependency. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm just up in this nice place, enjoying life, to share with you guys. So I just want to send you guys love, prosperity, and hope. And let's get through this together, because I'm cheering you on and I believe in you.